Happy Thursday, everybody. The weekend is almost here, thank God. Man, depending on where you live, day and a half. Whew, man, what a week. It's been slow go this week for me. I don't know about, hopefully it went by fast for you. Anyway, hey, we are down to it. Last week of baseball, college softball regionals. They start this week. We'll go over that. We got a lot of news items to get to, so before we get started, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss anything. With that, let's get down to the news. All right, softball regionals start tomorrow, run through Sunday. They are, in case you missed it, number 1, Texas, number 2, Oklahoma, number 3, Tennessee, number 4, Florida, number 5, Oklahoma State, number 6, UCLA, number 7, Missouri, number 8, Stanford, number 9, LSU, number 10, Duke, number 11, Georgia, number 12, Arkansas, number 13, Louisiana, number 14, Alabama, number 15, Florida State, number 16, Texas A&M. They will all host regionals. One thing about this is kind of crazy, given what's going on the last several years. Alabama and Florida State are way down in those rankings, and Washington's not even in them. That's just crazy, isn't it? If you pay attention to college softball like I do, you're like going, wow, those teams aren't up high, and one of them's not even in it at all. Crazy, crazy, crazy. We'll go over some of that stuff here coming up here in a second. Let's get to some more news. UCLA, they won their 8th Women's Water Polo Championship, beat Cal 7-4. UCLA freshman Penny, let's see if I can say the name right, Penny Zadie, I think that's how you say it, scored 3 goals in the final 8 minutes, 43 seconds. So congratulations to the UCLA women's polo team for winning the national championship. Northwestern women's lacrosse player Izzy Skane broke the Division I record for women's lacrosse goals on Sunday. She has scored 359 goals in 81 games. Pretty impressive there. She scored 5 of them last Sunday against Denver, who they beat 17-4. So congratulations to Izzy Skane. That's pretty impressive. Wyoming, they hire former assistant Sundance Wicks as their new men's basketball coach. He was at Green Bay last season. I think I read he was a former assistant from Wyoming, so I guess he's coming back home. Georgia State, they're going to build a new baseball stadium in the parking lot that includes the footprint of the former Atlanta Fulton County Stadium, where the Falcons and Braves used to play years ago. Site where the Braves first played in Atlanta. And the cool thing is, where Hank Aaron hit his 715th home run. So they're going to build the stadium right there in the parking lot of the old Atlanta County Fulton Stadium. That's pretty cool. Oregon State and Washington State have announced their home games for this upcoming football season. They will be on CW and Fox. So if you're looking for Oregon State, Washington State home games, look for Fox and CW Network. Former Michigan quarterback Denard Robinson reported he got a DUI, DWI, whatever you want to call it, last month. Michigan let him go. He's no longer on the staff there at Michigan. It's like the second or third Michigan coach or staff member to have problems this offseason. ABC, ESPN, they have announced Week 1 matchups and a so-called Week 0, which I think is a stupid term, but hey. August 31st, Clemson and Georgia at noon in Atlanta. Florida versus Miami at 3:30. That will be the new, that will be taking the place of Memorial SEC on CBS. Well, now ESPN is going to be doing the SEC afternoon games, which a lot of people don't like Gary Danielson and all the Vern Lindquist and all them. But I like them, so I'm going to miss the old SEC on CBS. Man, that thing went on for, what, almost 30 years, and now ESPN took it over. And then Notre Dame and Texas A&M prime time. September 1st, the next day before Labor Day, USC versus LSU, 7:30 p.m. I believe that's in Las Vegas also. The week before, remember the so-called Week 0? We get 1, maybe 2 decent matchups, and the rest are just kind of fill-in games for that day. We usually get about, 6 or 7 total that first weekend. This one may not be too bad. August 24th, Florida State versus Georgia Tech. It'll be in Dublin, Ireland, which I don't get that, but Anyway, Georgia Tech, they started coming on last year, remember? They started beating teams they should be beating. That could be a pretty good game. We'll see how their spring went. Also, August 29th, North Dakota State versus Colorado. Dion may get himself an eye-opener that day. North Dakota State, damn good FCS team that we've seen over the last several years. I don't know. We'll see what happens. That's going to be an interesting game. Really, really interesting game. If you're interested in this, also, the game we mentioned in Ireland, Florida State, Georgia Tech, College Game Day is going to be there. If you like it, I was a big fan of that show for years. And the whole Katy Perry fiasco in Ole Miss, that kind of just threw me off of it, and I really haven't watched it since. But if you're still a Game Day fan, they will be there in Dublin, Ireland. Green Bay, they hired Doug Gottlieb as their new basketball coach. This one here, kind of a weird story. Selena Harris, 2024 Pac-12 Gymnast of the Year. She entered the transfer portal. Why? She was dismissed by UCLA. No reason given. Reports on her Instagram page is she has taken everything UCLA off of her Instagram page. Again, they don't say why she was dismissed. Maybe that'll come out later. Maybe it won't. Last couple items, unfortunately, are sad. Former Louisville place kicker John Wallace, who had a school record 66 career field goals while he was at Louisville, passed away, 31 years old. No cause of death given. Nobody said anything yet, but man, 31 years old. That is way too damn young. So prayers to him, his family, his friends, his old teammates, the Louisville community. Man, that's sad. 31 years old. Last bit of news. Remember Washington running back Tybo Rogers? He was charged with rape last month. No longer with the team. They booted him. No longer with Washington. They booted him off. All right, so these softball regionals coming up here tomorrow through Sunday. These are just some interesting matchups and possible matchups we could have. We're not going to name all the teams in the regionals, but these are the ones that are interesting or could be interesting if some teams take care of business. Like, for instance, Austin, Texas, they could be playing St. Francis of Pennsylvania or Northwestern. Both very good teams, especially Northwestern. That could be an interesting matchup there. Norman, Oklahoma, they could play Oregon. That would be a good one. In Knoxville Regional, Tennessee could play Miami of Ohio. They're a very good softball team. Stillwater, Oklahoma State could play Kentucky or Michigan. Michigan, another one that's crazy. You didn't see them in the top 16 to get they're another good softball team. So, yeah, Oklahoma State, Kentucky, and Michigan, that Stillwater Regional, that could be a very good regional. Columbia, Missouri versus Omaha, that could be a pretty good one. And Washington versus Indiana. That looks like a pretty tough regional there. Stanford, they could play Mississippi State. That's a pretty good one there. LSU could play Cal. That's a good one. Durham Regional, Duke could play South Carolina or Utah. Looks like to be a pretty good regional too. Athens, Georgia could play UNC Wilmington. UNC Wilmington's a pretty good softball team. Fayetteville, Arkansas could play Arizona. Arizona kind of squeaked in there to the last of the top 25 over the last few weeks. Again, Arizona, another one. Used to see them winning championships and everything. Weren't in the top 16 for regionals. That's crazy. But anyway, Arkansas, Arizona, that could be a good one. Lafayette, good regional. Lafayette, Louisiana. Louisiana versus Princeton. Princeton's a good softball team. And Ole Miss versus Baylor. That's going to be a good matchup too. So that's going to be a good regional. Tuscaloosa, Alabama, could end up playing Clemson. And then College Station, Texas A&M. They could play Texas State or Penn State. Both who are really good softball teams. That's probably going to be a good regional too. So there you go. Like we said, starts tomorrow, goes through Sunday. Last week of baseball, they get started on their conference tournaments here next week. So let's go over some of this baseball stuff that happened in the last few days. Oops, sorry. Sunday, 34-18, Vanderbilt beat number 1 Tennessee 3-0. Vanderbilt had 11 hits in that game. Tennessee only 3. In 8 innings, number 12 Wake Forest beat number 2 Clemson 13-3. Wake Forest, I watched that game. Their bats were on fire. Grand slam, 3-run home runs. I mean, no matter what pitch Clemson threw, Wake Forest was knocking it out into the field or over the wall. It was pretty incredible batting there for Wake Forest. In 10 innings, number 4 Kentucky beat Florida 7-5. Kentucky's Herrera, 3-run double. Moore threw 6 strikeouts. Number 5 Arkansas beat number 14 Mississippi State 9-6. Arkansas was down 6-0. I actually kept flipping back from this game, from the Wake Forest Clemson game. Arkansas was at home down 6-0 at one point. They came back. Give them credit. They came back. They scored 9 runs in the 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th inning to win that game. Pretty incredible comeback. Tulane beat number 6 East Carolina 10-9. 30-19 Georgia Tech beat number 9 Duke 8-6. Georgia Texas Jones, 2-run single and a solo home run. McKee struck out 9 Duke batters. Number 3 NC State beat number 10 Virginia 13-5. NC State's Butterworth and Nixon each hit 3-run home runs. Evansville beat number 20 Indiana State 7-6. Texas State beat number 21 Troy 8-6 in 11 innings. 23-22 Penn State beat 27-23 Rutgers 11-10. 16-32 Northwestern beat 26-32 Ohio State 3-1. Both had 7 hits in this game. 28-24 Michigan beat 33-19 Purdue 8-6. 32-20 Texas beat 31-17 Central Florida 10-7. Texas Galvan hit a 2-run home run. Thomas hit an RBI double and an RBI single in that game. 22-27 Boston College beat 34-19 Maryland 2-1. Both teams had 7 hits in that game. Moving on to Monday baseball. Patriot League semifinals. Army beat Bucknell 9-7 and then 6-5. Each had 4 errors in that first game. I looked for a championship game, but I haven't seen one listed. For some reason, there's no baseball yesterday. So I don't know if they're going to play. I got to look at the schedule. I don't know if they're going to play a championship game today, tomorrow, Sunday, or Saturday, what. I couldn't find one listed. Crazy. Anyway, on Monday, 31-18, Cal beat 20-29 Stanford, 5-3. Tuesday, Stetson. Good game for them. They beat number 10 Florida State 10-5. A lot of games canceled Tuesday because of the weather. I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of games are going to be canceled, maybe even today, because here in Southeast Texas, we got a strong system coming in. A lot of rain, wind, hail. It's going to be moving east. So anybody playing to the east, they might have their games canceled today. I'm not sure. Like I said, Wednesday, no games last night for whatever reason. So softball regionals this weekend. Next week, baseball. They start their conference tournaments. There are a lot of teams that are going to have to mow through their tournament to make it into the regionals for baseball. A lot of them, like they say, right on the bubble, right on the fence. They're going to have a very, very impressive conference tournament to make it into the regionals. So that is it. Short and sweet. Day and a half, man. Friday's tomorrow, thank God. And then the weekend is here again. I'm going to try to stay busy so this next day and a half goes by quick. Anyway, enjoy your weekend. Have fun. Be safe. We will be back more than likely probably on Sunday unless there's a whole string of regional championship games on that day. Then we'll just wait till Monday so we can go over all of them. Anyway, we'll see you next time. Later.